One of my favorite things is, as you know, we have this canny board, and our canny board allows us to get feature requests. People can vote on those things. And today, the very first thing that we're actually going to talk about is the most requested feature of all time ever. We've never
Wow.
had a feature so upvoted so many times. And so I'm very excited that we're going to talk about exactly that today. I don't know, were you one of the people who upvoted
I
this upcoming?
wasn't. People in the audience might be thinking like, "Oh my goodness, the most requested feature. What is it? We want to know."
Yeah, so we're very excited. It's taken us a little while to, be able to build this. There's good reason. You will really like what you see and how much refinement has gone into it. So, without further hyping up, one of the things that we like to say at Fellow is, as part of creating healthy meeting habits, you have to make sure that there's accountability. You have to know exactly who's doing what and be able to track that. So, up until now, we've had this situation where you could assign accountability through the form of action items, right? That's what they were there for, and they continue to exist. Sometimes you would run into a situation where an action item was one of those things that you didn't necessarily want just one person to do, but you wanted multiple people to do that particular thing. I think about something like everybody has to read this document, or something like this team needs to complete this task, but any person in the team can be the one that completes it, right? And so there are many situations where there would be more than one party that could be part of the action item mix. And it's not something that we really supported in the past in Fellow. And so we had to be very thoughtful about this, because there's this concept of having directly responsible individuals, and we really wanted to make sure that we gave you all the controls to have the right accountability. And the way that we've built it together, and I'm very proud to announce, our very first feature that we're announcing today, we're calling it multiple assignees for action items. And so I love that you actually already did this for me. So you put an action item, read document X before the meeting, and you can see, because you created, it's auto assigned to you. And when I click on that, you now see this additional toggle here, which says multiple assignees. And so when I click on it, all of a sudden you get basically the opportunity to select more than one person. So in this particular case, I'm going to select myself as well. And when I do that, a couple of interesting things change. First of all, you'll see that visually, instead of a single box, there's two boxes to kind of indicate this is a multiple assignee situation. Both of our faces show up to the right. But in addition, we have this new little visual indication that says 0 out of 2. You notice that it now says 1 out of 2. If I'm curious who the other person was, I can click on it, and it basically says Manuela has completed this item. And this visual indication shows me exactly that. So now I can go in and click this item as well. And when I do, now we see a beautiful 2 out of 2 situation. Yes, celebrate. Everybody's done what they were supposed to do. And it just does a really good job of explaining exactly what you want in terms of accountability. So one thing that is interesting, and this is how well thought out this feature is. So I'm going to uncheck this for a second. And I even have the ability to uncheck it on your behalf. And let me talk to why, right?
Mhm.
So it feels really good to have an item checked off. Now imagine if I'm in a meeting and I completed something, but you're not there. That day, for whatever reason, you're not able to join the meeting. However, you and I have chatted in advance, and you've told me that actually, yes, this is a thing that has been completed on my part. And so this gives anybody in the meeting that ability to be able to check things off on others' behalf, to really create a good record of what was actually done in the meeting. So this is yet another really well thought out part of this feature that allows you to basically have that type of control.
Wow, I love this, Aiden. And I can already see myself using it for some of our asynchronous meetings where I like to ask my team to record videos of their status updates. So I would love to, for example, create an action item here saying record a video on your OKRs and then assign it to everyone on my team. There you go.
Yeah, and again, with action items in Fellow, it's super easy. You can drag it, anywhere you want in the note. This action items section is simply just a suggested spot for it, but you can obviously drag and drop these things anywhere. So this is really nice, right? This in terms of, we're very much in favor of pre-homework before meetings. This allows you to get everybody accountable for those sorts of things. But also there may be different ways that you want to handle this. So for example, this one is record a video on your OKRs, but what I can do is I can click on this item, and right now it requires every single person selected here to be able to do that particular task. One thing I did want to note is if there's a bunch of people in your meeting and you don't want to select each and every one and go and do a lot of clicking through items, what you can also do is you can check this box here. So you can see this all note users item here will allow you to select everybody who's in the note as an option to quickly do that particular thing. And then there's also an unassign all. Again, product teams thought of everything. It's very impressive. But the thing that I wanted to draw your attention to was this item here. So when I click on any, you see the action item actually changes. It's still assigned to both of us in this particular case, but in this case, you and I are a team, anybody could, check this off. And it really depends on, the system and the particular situation, but we're giving you the utmost control so you can decide what makes more sense for your multiple assignee project. The other thing I want to mention is one of the really nice things about Fellow is that, Fellow is a product used by people from all walks of life, right? Whether you are a single person, sole proprietorship, or you are a company with tens of thousands of employees, Fellow has customers all across. So when we think about things like this, we also think about all the different use cases. So some of the, we think about the ease of use from a single person's perspective, right? Hence these visual indications and all the thought process that goes through it, but also the enterprise grade functionality. So one of the things that we thought about is we want to support different company viewpoints. So if you work at a company and you're the CEO of that company and you say, well, in my company, I don't want to, for example, allow for the any option. So this any option that we clicked on, that's not a thing that we want to support. We've also built all these workspace settings, and I'll show you the setting for this one in particular, where you can actually turn that off, and then you won't have the complete by any action items. So again, lots of thought gone into producing this, and I'm very excited to actually make this live. And actually, the product managers worked with a lot of our customers on this one, right?
Yes. So I heard from their product managers that there was a group of users who were particularly helpful in providing feedback about this feature to assign multiple assignees for action items. So we did want to give those users a shout out today because we really love when you all give us feedback and share your ideas with us. So a special shout out today goes to David Mason, Mauricio Vasquez, Melanie Self, Liz Eimer, and Max D'Ambrosio for sharing your feedback and your thoughts with our product managers.
Yeah, thank you to you all. I mean, this is how these features are able to be as refined as they are on launch, is we do a lot of work, and thank you for working with us on this. And of course, this is all still a work in progress. Everything we do is a work in progress. Please keep the feedback coming. We listen and we love it. And this is how this product continues to provide a lot of utility for all of our users. So,
Aiden, one thing that I was thinking about is, as a productivity company, we obviously care a lot about saving time, right? We want to save time in meetings. We want meetings to be more efficient. And I can see how this feature really helps managers save time in meetings by allowing them to assign action items faster.
yeah, and this is true, right? It's funny because we would get this feature request all the time. People would message us and we'd say, well, I mean, you can kind of hack that functionality by copying and pasting the same action item, 7 times if there's 7 people in the meeting. And people used to do stuff like that. But of course, the problem with that is that your note looks it can, start to look a little overwhelming. There's just a lot going on. And you had to do it, copy and paste it multiple times. And so it just wasn't convenient. And so I think Fellow's all about creating the healthy meeting workflows, and then the things that you want to do the most often, we want to make it super easy to do those things. And this is why, right? People ask us, what is the core of Fellow? And we are a purpose-built tool to make meetings effective, right? And so this is just this purpose-built functionality, and you can expect a lot more of this from us as we go.
Okay, so if this was the first feature in this launch, I don't know what to expect next.